Hey fellas, so it's time for another trip in the Disney Plus hole. And if you look at certain headlines these days, you might get the mistaken impression that hey, and other companies, hey, is underperforming is a new phenomenon. I can assure you, who talking about this, that is not the case at all. In order to explain why, let's find in the clocks back 20 years to this day. Hey, where a film release which got a rather mixed reception at best, and while it was not the only reason why I 2D animation theaters stopped being a driving cultural force, nor why Eisner stepped down from the company the following year, it was definitely not one that helped either case, where it cost reported $110 million to make and grossed back just $50 million back domestically, so roughly half at best. And compared to the other ones the post Renaissance period, which have garnered some fan base, be it ironic or otherwise, and makes been reevaluated, this just remains a strange artifact of that time frame. So let's talk about 2004's Home on the Range. The movie is a Western themed musical, believe it or not, and it actually has a lot of elements that are not really out of place, and all the ones influenced it, albeit shook up with their certain anachronisms. I mean, of all the competitors that were horny on their markets at the time, three guesses as to which one had the highest grossing film that year, and the first two don't count. The story centers on three cows hosts named Maggie, Grace, and Calloway, a, who are tasked with trying to save their farm, which is in danger of being bought out by a cow rustler slash land baron Alameda Slim, who is both the brains and brawn of his operation because it sure isn't going to be his pinhead, pencil neck nephews at all. I mean, oh, and also he yodels because why not? So I'm just kind of being clear here. I mean, both from the perspective of when I first saw this on Stars back in the day, hey, and looking back at this on D Plus now, I don't hate it, but even I will admit it's a very, very bizarre film. Where on one hand, you have them obviously trying to adapt to the modern trends, and like some of the jokes have innuendo that pushes the film to a PG rating. Dean, like, there's one self-deprecating joke that Maggie makes about her udders, hers, and on the other, you had them trying to really lean hard into the, conventions that help establish them. Um, but even at the and for all the things that have come before and since, even despite the best efforts of Alan Menken and other people working on the soundtrack, the songs, for the most part, did not really stand out at me. The one exception is Will the Sun Never Shine Again. I mean, credit where it's due, both at the time and since, that song did get a genuine emotional reaction out of me, especially with Bonnie Raitt providing the vocals for it, where it's, I mean, she's definitely knows how to both warm and break your heart at the same time. And on that note, the animation is in itself very good. It's got a lot of energy to it. I mean, really leaning into the Old West kind of color palette, and even having some more elements that I think were crazy enough that were working for me. Like, there's a rabbit named Lucky Jack with a peg leg who I can imagine like if Rabbit from Winnie the Pooh's ancestor did not take the more safe, comfortably safe life of growing vegetables, where the worst thing you have to worry about is Tigger pouncing on them. And of course, the whole big sequence in the end where involving a mine shaft and trains. I would not be surprised if they were running into Emmett Doc Brown or Donkey Kong on the track given how much stuff is going on there. And of course, the voice cast is pretty solid, not better than Emmett Will, despite some of their more recent incidents. I mean, and so even though I may not be as down on this movie as some other people are, I at least understood why at the time it was not. It didn't do so hard. Personally, opening weekend, the film came in at number 4. We're behind new releases of Hellboy and the 2004 version Walking Tall, and the second weekend of Scooby Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed, Ace Main, and barely above the 6th weekend of the Passion of the Christ, and so yeah, even factoring in the changing marketplace, it was pretty stiff competition, to put it mildly. Hey, and it was only really somewhat mitigated by decent international numbers and also decent points at home. I knew the movie was coming out at the time. Given how many times I saw the ads for it, but I was going like less yay a big animated western and more, if you'll pardon the vintage meme, I'm 12 years old and what is this? Yes, so, and there are some other bizarre aspects I haven't gotten to yet, like there's these piglets that want to fight and kind of remind me a little bit of the ones that Link had to wrangle in Wind Waker near the beginning, and, and a crotchety old goat who does not only eat old cans because they have I know how it's a cliche of them eating everything that's not nailed down, but also doing target practice with them. Like I said, it's not the worst film I've ever seen by any means, but is a bizarre or kind of mishmash of ideas, to be completely honest. Though I do not know what lies ahead for their canon going forward, let's just say even before their centennial last year, here they've had their ups and downs. In my lifetime alone, I personally have seen in much lower points than what we're facing now. I just thought that would be an interesting thing to think about, as well as to consider before I talk about how it's how a film which is finally seeing release online tomorrow. So I will see you all very soon. My first reading thoughts on their centennial film Wish. That'll be all for now. Take care, everyone.